I just think this one is so up in the air, and both of these teams, they've done the classic of, you know, they've taken maps, they've made things close, but they haven't picked up a win yet.
Yeah.
That has to change now. You want to dodge this last place slot because then you're up for relegation.
I mean, this is one of the big really can't afford to lose, given the context of OpTic's roster, their organization, everything going on with this team. You know, no matter how good these players are, Big do have that real 5-man roster. So let's see as we get into things. Betway favoring Big as well in this best of 3, and Overpass to start off the series. Smooya, he's going to get back with a lot of tees, jumping around the corner, gets Nico, but immediate trade, and OpTic start to close the distance up towards A.
Oh, Tizian on this wrap. Will he hear anyone? Hang on. Oh, he's going to hear people. All right, he's going to hear more than that. Tizian emerging, and he'll shut them both down. Quezes, they'll get dropped, and now MSL and Config left up. They've got to try and secure this B site alone, and that is easier said than done. 3 players here for Big, and Tabson not missing a beat. He'll make quick work of that push. Big getting the pistol round. PT50 picked up for Tabson as well. He'll take that all day long.
Yeah, not really much success from OpTic. No bomb plant, so unlikely going to see a force in the second round. Just sticking to a flat eco, let Big get off to that 2-0 start. Standard stuff here over on Overpass, and lots of SMGs for Big, who are looking to make some money here. Smooya and Xantaro's going aggressive in middle. Smooth's actually ditched him, and Xantaro's is alone the connector, but he should be absolutely fine to mop up these kills. And 2 already down, 3 more to go. It's looking like an easy affair for Big right now. OpTic might be able to get a bomb down if MSL runs very fast, but Smooya's on that rotate up from B, and he should be able to stop him in his tracks. MSL, he's working with his speed, but Smooya is here just in time, and that will be a 2-0 start for Big. 5 alive. Bonus round time as OpTic pull in AKs and Kriegs. Come on, Rush.
It's always in my mind that this is the map that that Config broke the old kill record on, right? I think it was, what, I want to say 30.
47.
Was it 47? Is that? Yeah, no, that's right. That's bang on.
It was like a 16-9 as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't even, I casted that game.
Really?
Yeah, it was online. It was a DreamHack qualifier.
I wonder if he can roll back the years. Everything's in place here, Hugo. We've got you back in the building. Config's good luck charm. Frozen brings his little cabbage everywhere. Config's going to have to start sitting you up on the desk next to him.
I don't think that'd be of much help. Probably get in the way of the mouse pad. OpTic, look how fast they've gone up long here. I wonder if Big are aware. Smooya's inside of the site, and very, very clear now as OpTic make a lot of noise. Smooya, knife out, mate. Might want your gun. He's got an AWP to deal with them, but now OpTic already on the site. Tessa's looking for this kill. Smooya firing off some shots through the smoke. Nico's found Xantaro's up on A. Now Smooya's calling for those rotates. Doesn't want to lose to that headshot angle that Tessa's has taken. Smooya going back in with a flash. There's MSL down. 2 kills in, and that's enough for him, but the trades are there. And Config lines up 3 out of nowhere, and that's the round. Harry, maybe you're right after all.
I'm right. Mate, Config, you need to be hitting up Hugo Byron. That's Hugo. I don't know what your Twitter is anymore. It changes all the time. Is it Hugo TV? Yeah, I think
3 O's,
with 3 O's. Yeah. Very intuitive. You got to be hitting him up, Config, because this is a limited time offer. He'll come to every event you ask him to, and you can look forward to record-breaking performances every single time. I love that we're already seeing Config hit the ground running. He locks in that round for OpTic, making mincemeat out of Big. And now a chance for them to tie things up nice and early.
Yeah, Big not subscribing to these 4 spies though, and that's a pretty decent decision to make, just going for pistols in mid. Flashbang for Tizian to set them up. Once OpTic start to show some presence, and there's a spot. Nico sees someone. Oh, that's a missed flash for Tabson. Unfortunate. Another one does follow, but Nico gets out in time. Only dinked. Down to 19 points of health. They can't push through that molly either. Chase up on long. Nico's on 7. How is he still standing? In the meantime, OpTic already have that B bomb site over run. No one here for Big. Tizian's coming in through the CT spawn, and Tessus has these rotations cut off through the connector. So Big, it's about damage control here, and I think they're going to struggle to get much done.
They're just trying to entice OpTic in. You know, they're wanting them to push this connector where they've got this double setup and even more players nearby. I like this. tabseN and Xantares, they're just waiting to see if any players try and get down the connector via the back end. Now Tessus is down there already. They spot out MSL here. Not going to be able to take any of these weapons away by the looks of things. Maybe Tessus is in some danger. But that's 9 alive in the server. That's a pretty round to see. Violence, not always well, a bit of violence, but just some violence is
not
the
too
answer.
much violence.
Yeah, you have to fight. It's a thin line. It's a very thin line. Now we go 2-2, and another partial investment this time from Big. I tell you what, man, you mentioned they didn't subscribe to that force buy mentality. They really aren't, and I kind of like that from tabseN. He's been making a lot of these calls, right? We've seen Big just erring on the side of caution, always making sure that they're fully prepared. And you look at this round, they've still got a good chance to at least do damage, and at the most, maybe even find a round.
I like it when teams buy up kits in rounds like this. Smooya has one. Oh, where's that come from? tabseN? I don't even know.
I think he was up on the, standing up on the railings. And
but what did he warbang through?
I reckon it would have been the top of the plywood over to the left. And now they've thrown him up in another boost. tabseN, they're wondering, mate, he's 7'9", just peering over all these walls, shooting them down. Get away from B because the tall man is there.
Yeah, the manlet's getting locked in, Harry. By a pistol, nonetheless. 5-on-3. Now, these guns were dropped in B short, so the problem for OpTic is if they leave this part of the map and go back up towards A, these CTs can get aggressive and try and regain those weapons. If they don't, however, still OpTic have a chance to take control of this round, especially with kills like that. Nico, he had a phenomenal day yesterday, especially on Vertigo. Can he keep up that competition?
Keep an eye on that mini-map. Tizian is on one hell of a wrap round. Now, he's the man with two flashbangs to try and help his teammates out. He has to get to this site quickly, though, because their numbers dwindling. Smooya good for one more. Tessus, for the time being, he's got this one-on-one. And Next not able to buy enough time. Tizian now emerging from the bank, won't spot this bomb. And Tessus, very good idea as to where this last man's coming from, but Tizian will hit the dig. The force, or the partial rather, into that round works for Big. They get it. And now they've got so much money. That's a round win with everyone already sitting on around $3,000. So you're laughing at this point.
Come on. That's a joke. That first kill. He can't even see him, Harry. There's nothing to shoot. Some great pistol kills coming out for Big in this round. And yeah, I mean, they're going to have all the money in the world now. AWP, no question about it. Luckily, OpTic kept 5 alive in their anti-eco because means they still have money to invest. There's that open Smooya. Does he have the spawn? It's not the best, but he might still go aggressively towards middle, try and look for a pick. Now he's lining up the flash. Xantares is going to be fighting party side, and no one here to stop him, really. OpTic only with one player in the playground. tabseN's killed Tessus through the wall inside of connector. That's through 2 walls, not just one. Double the wall. And he's going back in. It's just rinse and repeat for tabseN. Screw it. Why not?
They keep thinking, like, surely they don't just... He's not going to do it again. And here he is doing it again. tabseN. Looking for... He knows MSL's there. No. It's the ultimate tease. That was gross.
You okay, Harry?
No.
That sounded like you were dying there for a second.
No, I did a bit inside. That was an awkward exchange between the two of them. tabseN not getting results from that, but Smooya alleviating some pressure with that kill onto Nico. OpTic, they were hoping that this A site might be where they find success, but with Smooya shutting down the early man in, that first probe into the bomb site, they're now going in blind. And a rotation from Xantares. He'll join Smooya here, back to back. They try and hold off this 2v2.
Yeah, it was a very fast peek from Xantares. MSL not ready for the swing, and Smooya has dropped config in transition. It's just Quez, 1-on-5, 20 seconds. He could get this kill and open up B, but he's not going to be able to. Tizian keeping the round in the favor of Big, and they will lock in yet another. Great start to the CT side of Overpass. And, you know, considering neither team here has picked up a victory just yet, this is all the more important as to not get relegated. Ooh. Nice little flickaroos. This is interesting. What's this from OpTic? They seem to be buying up, but 3 players who have yet to buy don't actually have the money. So if they want to fully commit to this, it's going to be, you know, Galils with body armor. That's not a great investment. We'll see what happens. We'll see how they decide to meander around this money situation. Bit of a tech pause for the big side of things, but headsets are on and thumbs are up, so I'm remaining positive.
I love how tense the pause music is.
Yeah.
It really adds to, especially when it's technical, because it feels like something's going on that's put everyone in danger. That's not the case, though. We're all good. There's danger in the server, though, and right now, a lot of it heading towards OpTic. As you say, they've gone for this force buy in this round. Gonna leave them a little bit hamstrung if they don't pick it up. And this is where you could see Big start to steamroll ahead on this CT side. This is the round where if they wanted to get off to one of these blinding starts, this is where it begins. And Smooya already with this mid-aggression. A lot of information for his troubles. The man there is Quez, the one player with a CZ, so he's really no match to that AWP on Smooya. And with Smooya holding middle, this is allowed for such a heavy presence down towards this B-bomb site. He will fall off, takes up position at long, more standard with Xantares. But this 3-man B hold will not be budging anytime soon. I'm curious if this is a decision that OpTic look to stick to.
Oh, aggressive peek, but the flash comes right before Config takes the fight. Tizian trying to go back in for more, and Nico will trade him after just one. Not going to be able to get next off the barrels, though, who doubles up. Any more from him? No. MSL with a trade. Galil proving to be prosperous here for OpTic. That molly should cut off the rotate. Great nade from Xantares puts MSL low. Another molly, and OpTic are going to be given time to take appropriate post plants, wrap back towards short if they choose to. Instead, they're just holding for that flank. Smooya's coming in from heaven, though. No players moving from the back lines here. And Big, expending a lot of utility, but not going to get much value out of it because OpTic aren't giving them an inch back into this round. They are playing so passive here. When that bomb's almost ticked, that bomb's almost done. They need to stick it. Smoke for the defuse. Smooth's just got to get right on it and hope Xantares can defend him. There's the tap. Now he's off it, trying to get the kill, but this bomb is going to go right off. And Tessa's killing Xantares has signaled the end of the round. Smooya might even die to the bomb here. Oh, calculated, of course. But still around for OpTic, Harry. That was a mixed buy, a mashed buy with CZs, Galils, and almost no utility. And the passive play from OpTic is not what Big expected in the post plant. Really delays them there, and OpTic pick up the round.
They're looking pretty keen on B now, our OpTic. They seem to have found their little favourite bomb site out of the two, at least for the time being. Back down towards here. All 5 players grouped up outside of B. Boost at the back of the bomb site. Nex is the man throwing up in it. Now he misses that first shot, and yeah, that boost becomes a bit of a death sentence once they know you're there, so he's got to get down. And these rotations getting cut away by Nico. This round, it should already be over, unless some kills can come through soon. Next getting that one, maybe that spurs Big on to go for this. But no, that's the round. They'll just back on out. These 2 players try to save. The B site proving to be a bit of a weakness here for Big. And OpTic doing a good job of conditioning this CT side early on to really worry about that B site. Wouldn't surprise me if we see Big have to reinforce their numbers there, at least for the next couple of rounds. And that's likely when we see OpTic, you know, switch things up once again.
Yeah, you're typically always going to get a kill against the Monster Rush from that boost, but whoever it was from OpTic that went straight through Monster, jiggled and baited out a shot. And from then on, like you said, I think it was Tizian needed to drop off that boost. You can't commit to that. You can't stay there. Once OpTic know you're there, they can easily pre-aim that spot, and your head is the only thing visible, so it should be a free kill. And with that boost being deconstructed, Big have no one in the site to stop OpTic, and they just get run over. 4-4. It's got to be the eco. Smooya has money, but better to save it than drop over guns here. Get a full buy for everyone. Although that being said, maybe, I can see a world where he drops 2 M4s and they have a really good buy, but I understand why Big want to take a breather. A few pistols out. They've already got 2 saved guns. There's still a chance here. Smooya trying to make that jump. He's a bit late to the party, though, and Config was already out through long. A fast play from OpTic, and now Big are going to need to heavily rotate up towards the top site.
And even as they do, OpTic know, right? Like, you've killed this one dude, and they're only on these pistols, so they're waiting for these rotations. They're waiting for the aggression back in from Big. Still so much utility for OpTic as well, so it's not even like they've had to expend much. And look at this conga line. This is an interesting one. They're gonna try and peek into long. They boost up. Oh, Tizian with the AWP. That's one man deleted. More players here. Flashbang is good. MSL helping his teammates out of trouble, and he'll be there to finish off the final man. I was going to say, even grabbing the AWP, but no. He actually just plucks the AK from the ground, and that will be the 5th for OpTic. Also, interesting to note that decision. I imagine we're going to see these faster plays continue for OpTic.
Yeah, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And B has just been great for OpTic, so why not keep that up? Great trades up on long to deal with the stack from Big that definitely could have gotten out of hand. Now Smooya's back on an AWP. We've seen that happened twice, where Smooya tries to get up on that boost late. We saw that in the phase game earlier. Someone got caught trying to get into that position. If you don't do it at the start of the round, the T's can be out. So timing is everything here on Overpass. But now OpTic, well, they've slowed right down, crawling through the connector. 2 A players still party side, or playground rather. Xantara just holding the cross for information, hoping someone swings on him in the toilets. Oh, nice angle, though. MSL attempts the fight. Will get some damage off, but Xantares wins it. Tabson's blind, but they haven't checked the tree, and he's fully covered here. Config, quick flick, gets the return, and Xantares has been dropped in the toilets as well. So while this is a 3-on-3, there's no players on A here for Big. That calls for a desperate rotation. Nex is running right up through the bank, but luckily enough, OpTic have slowed down. They haven't overwhelmed the site just yet.
No, I mean, for what they've seen, Big are more than willing to go for these pushes in these sort of situations, right? So they're just going to hold their ground and leave that seed of doubt in the mind of Big. They have no idea where any of these 3T players are. And you kind of look at where they're relegated to on the map. You imagine how little information they've actually got. The last they saw, there were players over in toilets, but that was a good 30 seconds ago. One thing I'll say, 15 seconds left as these smokes are going in. If this bomb gets dropped or if this play gets delayed, this could all fall apart.
Oh,
Next,
no.
He's been spotted. The flashbang holds back the long peek, but Nico, such an important kill. Smooya tries to deny the bomb plant, and it's into the maws of Config. OpTic leaving that one down to the wire. They reap rewards from it. Tizian likely doesn't give this one even so much as a look in. Actually, still floating around. Maybe wants to try and get the AWP or something along those lines. And yeah, he just eyed it up. The bomb might blow it to him, but I think he'll die if he sticks around. So yeah, he's got to leave. Bit of a shame there that the AWP is so deep within the site. Config's even shot it away so that the bomb couldn't blow it down the steps into the arms of Tizian. Nice big brain Config.
And that got really, really scary. You mentioned, right, that time coming down to the last 10 seconds. If there's one mistake from OpTic, they lose that round potentially. And Config, I think it was coming out through long, he got fully blinded from a team flash. It also fully blinded Nex, who was playing truck. And both players about to fight had to look away. Config had to run back. Nico came in, bailed him out, gets that kill on truck, and the plant comes through with just seconds remaining. I mean, stars aligning from OpTic, but great executing that 3-on-3, and their slow play certainly made Big second guess whether that was the A-site commitment after all. 6-4 to OpTic. So quick start for Big, but OpTic have been relentless since getting guns. It is their map pick, it is where you would expect them to have success, but do Big have any answers here after their tactical pause? Certainly not going to be in this round. Pistols coming in. Tizian on that saved M4. And OpTic, I think they're going to keep the pace rampant towards B.
Yeah, MSL's even sporting a Mac-10, so he is just going to run in like a madman. Tizian on this boost. He's in for a nasty surprise.
Oh,
They're
no.
very close, and the Mac-10 wreaking some havoc. Config helps out next. Flushed out by the Molotov, even finished off to boot. And this leaves Antares over in the connector alone. He'll quickly get put down. OpTic Gaming, 7-4. Looking good here on the T side of Overpass. I'm really liking that in this matchup thus far, we haven't seen MSL don that AWP once. And I feel like, with his tweets saying how he hasn't been feeling in the right mindset, and what we kind of took away from the first few days is that MSL, he has been struggling a bit, right? He has been someone who's been tending down towards the bottom of the board. And at times, the AWP on him has felt like it could have been a bit of a liability. So it seems like he's put himself in more of the entry/support role now. You'll know, he's kind of the man to get all of his utility dumpstered out, try and set his teammates up, and then he'll just be the first man in. So really getting stuck in and leading from the front.
Oh, what a peak! That is savage stuff from Config, and he really is on a tear. Quez, a further entry into the site, and hey, Big may be on B short, but that really doesn't matter. Next, his position is null and void. All he can do is cut off a rotate from Tess's, but at this point, can you even consider retaking? It's a 3-on-5 within seconds, and OpTic already know the round's done. MSL's in T-spawn going for hunts. Next getting caught, moving back through Con, and what do you even do against that? If Config can just run into a bomb site like that and get a headshot on an AWP player who's scoped on him, then there is no stopping him. Another round for OpTic. Add it to the tally, Harry. 8-4. This is a incredible T side so far.
Ooh, Shadow.
Oh, no.
I mean, that gun getting stripped away. Now you're in an awkward spot, right? You could have had 2 rifles dropped over. You would have had a buy in this round, and now that's just not the case. You've only got the AWP on Smooya. I imagine with how Big have been playing, with what we've seen as their tendencies, they want to get everything in play. So I imagine they're not going to be investing around this. So yeah, just partially, a couple of deegs here and there. Armor across the board almost.
Nice.
Faster start from Smooya. He immediately puts that AWP to good use. They put him down in the connector for that sole reason to try and snatch a man advantage away from OpTic. Zintares has helped out with that kill onto Nico, and now there's rifles being retrieved. A scary situation for OpTic. They went into this believing this round should be dead to rights, and now they find themselves 3v5, matter of seconds into the round, with a rifle picked up onto the back of Zintares as well. Connector control going the way of Big. This is a far trickier round than OpTic ever would have liked. And they just go completely back to the drawing board, right? They were set up over towards B. They lose that connector foothold, and so it's immediately exploring other avenues, and they do get control of mid. Now maybe going to try and flush Zintares out.
Oh, that's just so clean. Bomb tumbling down the stairwell, And Config, this would be a clutch for the age. He's got to get ahead of that molly. He will. Xantares is dead, but he can't escape back up to A. That molly separates him from the top site. Tries to get Smooya through the wall, and he takes Tizian down. Door swung open, and Smooya shuts the round closed. 8-5. Big still salvaged that one, but Config certainly made that look interesting, at least for a moment. Great round from Xantares, not only getting the Deegan connector here, but also following up with 2 more AK kills. Really makes that round work for Big.
I'm getting a lot of, you know, like memories and feelings around Config right now. And particularly, I know, right? Particularly, it just feels to me like that signature kind of Config style that he used to have back when he was in his prime. It felt like it went away for the longest time.
Headshots and such.
Headshots and such, exactly. That's what he's good at. And, you know, like, I always used to tell like the Config effect, right? He was just this guy in the server who could just do the impossible. And for the longest time, he did kind of lose that, right? He just felt like another Dane in the server, putting in his work, but nothing spectacular. Well, it feels like we're getting the old Config shining through a bit here. They want to keep that up if OpTic are going to waltz their way to a victory in this series. They've bypassed this double toilets hold. And
oh, dear.
Nico and MSL, they can just get into the A site now. You can see Big, they've started to consider this as an option. They begin to rotate Tabson and Xantares back into A, but it's too little too late because already OpTic are here.
Really heads-up play from OpTic, but will Tabson be able to stop it in the madness? Nico getting aggressive for another kill. And that's the rotate gone. Tizian can get a kill down on B, but at the end of the day, it's a bomb down for OpTic, and it's going to take so much time for Big to rotate up. Even when they do, their paths of rotation are cut off by Config. So it's looking like the save. Big having to give the second last round of the half away. Save these guns for a rainy day. They do have some save money on Smooya and Next to buy up around them. So both these guns being saved would be okay for Big. Best case scenario right now, but Config does not want to let that happen. That being said, he's just gone past Tizian. Next should be safe. That's some legs. Oh dear, Tizian running for the hills, and now the alert has been made. The rest of OpTic running towards playground as well, but it seems like both these players will get away with their guns. And OpTic, oh no, that's it's killer. That makes a lot of difference because the buy was only going to be 4 rifles anyway. Now, well, it's even more up for question. Big have got to put everything into it in the last round of the half, but OpTic have put up a stunning T-side so far. 10 rounds on the horizon as a potential. That would be shocking for the T-side of Overpass.
Every one of these series so far, Big have come into it as the underdog, and they've impressed us throughout. Now, for the first time, when they're the favorites, right? In this matchup, I don't think there's any denying it. Big are the 5-man roster. These are guys looking to make this team happen. OpTic, a roster that's just had a change a day before the event, right? They bring in stand-in mate Quez to join the ranks of MSL and co. And now we're maybe seeing some of that pressure getting to Big. Obviously, this is the map pick of OpTic, so it's good that they're coming in guns blazing. But there has just been... this doesn't feel like the same Big that we've seen throughout the event thus far. They try and do this quad boost. They missed it the first time, but we'll do it again. We'll give it another go. MSL.
Oh!
He's almost got it. And yeah, they just go, all right, look, we tried it twice. They say third time's the charm, though, MSL. So...
The only problem with that is, I mean, when you set up for a boost like that, even though OpTic Big didn't see, Xantares has found a gap. Oh, he made a drop. Nico's heard it. Damn right he has, but next up boosted on B, getting caught moving out, and they line up so much damage. He does almost 300 damage in this round, but he only gets 1 kill for it. Xantares dropping Nico back in T-spawn. That molly should be able to lock Tizian in place, but he can run and gun with the SMG. MSL doesn't let him escape. Scoped up on Heaven, where Smooya sits with the orb. Smokes eluding his vision too. Trying to flash Xantares back into the site. This bomb yet to go down here for OpTic. Xantares doing everything he can to refrain that from happening. That molly, though, goes out in the smoke, and the bomb plant does come through for OpTic.
12 points of health on Config as he's desperately looking for a means of finding something before he goes down. Not the case. It's MSL and Quez left in this one. Now just MSL. He has been struggling. We haven't seen the AWP from him this map, but he's looking to make a return. And he's almost in with 4. He's tagged up Smooya, and he'll find him through the smoke. MSL, that's the man that we've missed. Fist bumps all around. OpTic Gaming 10-5 on the half. Phenomenal T-side from them, and they're looking to keep the good times rolling. Both these teams yet to pick up a win in the Pro League thus far, and that's got to change at some point today. Find out who takes this first map after we go for a quick halftime break.
Born like a fire in the eye of a hurricane. Always told, stay in line, be alright, better play it safe. I walk a different path, nothing can hold me back. I've passed the point of no return, something is calling me, it's in the air that I breathe. To life again, dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
Fly so high they can't touch us. So top notch, none above us. We done came so far, now we up now. Had a vision, stuck to it, never back down. Never had much, now we on the whole thing. Spread it all around the world, watch it all change. Came alive, now they all see the greatness. Light shine so hard they can't take it.
Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive. I walk a different path, nothing can hold me back. I passed the point of no return, something is calling me, it's in the air that I breathe. Bring me back to life again, dancing with my fear, burning.
Boy, oh boy, do we have a big OpTic game on our hands. They are looking good over on the T half. They go 10-5 at the end of that first half. And now they switch things up, moving into the CT portion. Supposedly easier of the two. This is where Big have to try and find their footing. It was not the same Big that we've been used to seeing throughout the entirety of Group A thus far. They're looking a little deflated. They're on the back foot, and it's going to require a monumental effort if they do want to get back into this game.
Tess is with the mid spot as well. Big sending 3 players in late, trying to hope that OpTic over-rotate towards B. If Tessa sees nothing there, there's always a chance, but not the case. He calls for a rotate. MSL moves up, and Big move down through the connector, just trying to gain some more map control, clear out these positions, and in towards B seems to be the play. OpTic haven't adjusted from this 3-man setup. Quez, he's going to get flashed off. Oh, Config saves his life, luckily enough. Both players blind, jiggling on the pillar. Config gets picked up. These Glocks up close and next with 2 kills, but Nico still here. They haven't cleared him, and they finally do. Even getting the shots towards heaven on those rotators. Big, they kill the A players before the B players, and they finally get around. Pistol locked in at 6-10.
Obviously, coming into this is OpTic's map pick, right? They go 10-5 up, so we're all feeling good. One thing I will say is this was a map I remember MSL was always very, very keen, both on the old North roster, both OpTic as well, when he came into this, at making it like a bit of a staple of his teams. He's always liked it. And one thing I think that's interesting, Quez, someone who we've always I can't think of the word, commended for his good performances despite only just joining this squad, he's having a very hard time. And a part of me wonders if that's just because this is a map that OpTic were very well regimented on, one that they very much knew. And so it can be very, very hard just to slot in to your four teammates' game plan when you've only had that one day to prepare like he did. And if that is the case, over here on the CT side, some more troubles could be beginning for him. So let's keep an eye on that, see if he can rise up through the ranks. Obviously, you know, you're 10-6 up. You can't, I'm not ragging on Quez, but it's just an interesting point to note. Esses is close here. And he hears these footsteps. He's looking for the challenge. They will check him, and Nex is quick on the trigger. And likely, similar to how we saw OpTic deal with these situations on their T side, we just see Big pump the brakes a bit, slow things down, wait to see if OpTic give anything up, and they will, right? Config creeping in through the toilets. And so now just Quez and Nico left up in this round, and they've got to do the impossible. And it is just that. It's now even more impossible.
How is he alive?
Yeah, he's pretty fortunate right now, but I feel like his luck is turning, and not for the better. Nico dropped. It's only Quez. Now it's just Big. 7-10.
Forming the foundations for a comeback here are Big, the pistol and the anti-eco without too much hassle. But here comes the real test in just a couple of rounds' time, where OpTic finally have money. It won't be now, though. These SMGs are still going to be plentiful for Big. These kind of rounds really shouldn't get out of control at all for Big. It's 1 CZ and 4 USPs, so let's see what OpTic's game plan is. A couple of boosts here and there. Seems to be the best case scenario. Got this back B boost. Honestly, this is decent as well. Silence USP. T's aren't going to hear them. But Big have really countered this setup by just charging along with 4 players. Bomb as well. No one even knows because they're not running. Once they get to the corner, they start sneaking. And these OpTic players are pushed up on short. Now with the smokes coming down, they start to realize, but it's all too little too late. MSL getting tagged. Does get away with a kill, but immediate trade. And they might expect another player in the midst as well. 3 coming from CT though, so that's going to draw the attention away from Big. And Next starts to make some money. 2 more for him. Tess says his opportunity is gone, and Nico, the only man who invested in this round, well, he at least gets some value out of it, but that gun's still dropped above him, and Nex has his prey locked in. Not really much room for Nico to move, and Big will take 8 rounds. Standard stuff here, Harry, nothing too exciting, but here's where the game really starts up once again in the second half. OpTic coming in with a buy round.
Liking this, Tabson getting animated, seeming like he's a bit more pumped up. You could tell Big, they were looking a little deflated, and now that inkling of belief instilled in the squad once more. 8-10, 2 rounds between these teams, and a bye for OpTic on the horizon. This is the round that you've been building to, Hugo. This is the one that we've been looking for. AWP in the hands of MSL, rifles on everybody else. AWP in Smooya's hands over on the T side, so we will get to see.
Oh, nice.
Oof. The clash between the 2 AWPers at some point in time. Not for now, though. That neighbor's enough to get MSL out of mid, even leaving long to the hands of Big. Quick reminder as well, you can use the hashtag #ClipItChad if you want to have any of these rounds broken down by the Aussie delight that is Chad Sponge Birchall. Like this round, for example. 5 players grouped up over towards toilets are big. Slow creep forward. That shadow gives away not just the position of Tizian, but with his death, the bomb dropped out in the open as well. It's quickly remedied thanks to Nex and Tabson. They're able to get control of this situation once again. And now the A site just overrun with big players. If you're OpTic, you've got to save. You've got to bow out of this round. And so that first rifle buy, the one that we were really building up, the one that we were really hoping, this is where OpTic throw the gauntlet down again and start to answer back with some rounds of their own. It couldn't be further from the truth. I really thought with Tessez opening things up, getting that first kill, spotting the bomb, there was a chance for there was a chance for OpTic to make something of that round, but the follow-ups from Nex and Tabson, just flawless.
Yeah, that's part of the problem with MSL getting naded early, right? It immediately shifts OpTic into this extremely passive setup on A where they actually have no information. They just have to play the sites. Big able to creep all the way up on the toilets. And then at that point, well, as you can see, you get a couple of kills and suddenly the round's over because those CTs on B are too far away to have any impact in. Overpass A site is such a hard site to retake if you don't have a connector flank or at least some kind of player coming from the back line. If you're all trying to come through CT, chances are the Ts just have too many crossfires on both the dumpster and bank for you to get out. So OpTic, they've got to take another eco, all too familiar territory. Those 2 saved guns need to find value here in round number 20. Eco trying to play fast and furious. He will get boosted. MSL gonna set up his teammate and he spots someone, but Nex spots him. That's a kill and they know there's got to be a second player close by. Tabson perishes in his own molly. It really is a 1G moment, but at least he takes down the in-game leader of OpTic with him. Yeah, worth it.
Tabson's just bloodlusted, man. He just wanted the kill. He wanted to deal with it while they know they've got it. And I can't say I blame him. So now Quez, Config, 2v4. What can they really do here? I mean, you've still got Tizian over at B. I was going to say maybe if Config can isolate one of these fights in mid, the fact that he's already been spotted and tagged up just means he has to fall back passively into the A site. Big, doing a stellar job of just prodding away at these OpTic players, doing so much to limit what they can do on this CT side, right? MSL in the round prior, getting naded down. This round, a great read to counteract the boost. And then also forcing OpTic into this very, very passive hold now in the 2v4. They group up over at B, safety in numbers. But there's more numbers on the other side of the table. So who does the safety really lie with?
Oh, they haven't spotted Config here. This could be good if they try and push past the bridge. Quez has baited them in. Flash is there. Config jumps up, but everyone dodges it for Big. Great response. They just don't rush the plant. They focus on killing both players, and that will be a round with no more casualties. 4 alive. And that's it, Harry. 10-10. Suddenly, this extremely dominant lead that OpTic once established on their T side of all halves has just slipped, has just fallen apart. And Big, you know, not only in this game, but now looking like the favorites of this map, considering how ruthless their T side is. We're going to need OpTic to get on the board here. Hopefully MSL with the AWP can be the solution. Down towards connector with it, but Big have a lot of players in mid.
So a lot of this round now for OpTic hinges on not just this first fight that MSL's taking now, but Tessez in connector. And he's not able to win his fight. That's what I was looking for. Zintares on that flank down through mid. The idea there is that MSL and Tessez have that connector control, so that once MSL takes a shot, he can dart down connector. Him and Tessez could have then looked to exit. But hang on a moment, they've flipped this round back on its head. It's the heroics of Nico and Config to have suddenly thrown us into this 1v3. Big, they thought they had this round dead to rights. It was looking so good. Zintares getting 2 kills for free down in connector. I thought that was going to be enough, but now it's just Tizian left. He's got the bomb on his back at the very least. And maybe, no, Tizian 4x3 to death. There's Config crossing just on the outer side of his screen. Don't know if it actually was 4x3 or if he just missed it, but Could have been a way back in. Not to be, however. And OpTic, they finally break the streak. They'll get their first rifle round on the board.
Tessus has got to be so happy his team picked up the pieces there. The fact that Xantares is able to get an angle onto MSL without Tessus covering him is, you know, I hate to use this word, but it is a bait. He just got baited by his teammate. And, you know, Tessus maybe not expecting that kind of peak from Xantares, but frankly, not having the connector covered when MSL just needed his back watched was a bit of a problem. Regardless, the round's won, so it's not the end of the world. But man, for a second, that looked pretty dire. OpTic finding something, but will it be just a lone shot in the dark? Will it be a lone round, or will they be able to do it again, back to back, as they are on the tipping point in terms of money? Xantares working up connector, and OpTic with a AA long setup here. I like this setup, so I will say that. You know, OpTic is switching it up every single round. You know, the double connector setup, the mid peak with MSL, now too long. They're making big guess every single time.
Oh, and tabseN in the long toilets. He might be about to get one hell of a reward. Nex is drawing the attention away, and they'll catch MSL. Now, at the rock, there's still a man. Tess is actually on his bike. He's got to pedal himself out of this situation, and instead, he'll get snuffed out. Nico, Quez, all that's left, and they're down on B. I think this is already a save for OpTic.
Yeah.
There's no point even giving this site a look in. You want to hold on to these rifles. So that is big, finding an 11th immediately. They take a round straight back.
And you know Big want to hunt as well. They've had plenty of rounds of 5 alive.
They even left extra time, right, with planting the bomb. It was in the site for a little bit, and so they just hold it off for a few seconds, allowing the bloodhounds, you know, they let them off the leash.
This is risky, though. I mean, like, it's not a problem. They are actually saving, but if OpTic had a player on A, the bomb is barely being covered. Luckily enough, you know, Big have read this right. They know these are the B players. They know where they are, and they are on the hunt. Xantares with a kill, and Nico gets one, but now they know exactly where to check. And I love that angle from Xantares. Jumps on the barrel, you know, shoots through the wall. Hard kill to find for Nico, and that's Big taking another round.
I always used to love, back when Xantares was on Space Soldiers of old, back in like 2015, 2016, I loved watching them on Cobblestone, and Xantares was the king of drop down. Well, for me, Connector is the drop down of Overpass, and he's doing a stellar job. He's very, very good at locking down, especially on the T side, these key pivotal rotation areas on the map, and having someone that you can rely on to do that time and time again is helping Big out so much right now over on this T side. OpTic, they've just been leaving Connector these last few rounds. They haven't wanted to fight him. They finally decide maybe we should go on the Xantares watch. So they do deploy config in this position. They've put their best man on the case.
And speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Xantares in the connector, getting rid of config. Big starting to move up A long as well. This isn't really being covered. Tessus is watching it from the toilets, but one flash or a smoke will render him useless if placed right by Big. They really do just have the perfect reads, man. Every time OpTic set up with, you know, both players in tandem, Big avoid them perfectly. And there's that flash. Tessa's not getting blinded. MSL making contact. Does Nex still check it? Yes, he does. Great awareness from Nex. And now a 5-on-2 with only pistols left. And obviously it's Nico and Quez. They're both on B. Big know that every day of the week. But maybe hoping they'll over-rotate. This bomb is going to go all the way back in through T-spawn. And that's a fair read, because OpTic are rotating off of this B-bomb site. Why wouldn't they? They've just seen Big take A long. There's Molotovs landing on the site. So these two slowly but surely moving to the wrong bomb site. That's a really harsh reality here for OpTic. I'm loving tabseN's calls.
Yeah, no, that's something that we've been saying about Big this entire group thus far, right? Is just that the calls have been impressing us. The mid-round decisions that tabseN's been offering haven't just been decisions, they've often been solutions. So now it's Nico and Quez. By the way, we touched upon, you know, Quez coming into this 4-man team, having to just try and, you know, fill the positions that are needed. Well, on the CT side, he's been down towards the B bomb site, and he's hardly seen a lick of action thus far. He's always been one of these players left at the end of rounds. And that can be very disheartening, right? You're already sitting down bottom of the board. You're already struggling. Maybe, you know, you're not exactly slotting in exactly how they'd like. And now, to make matters worse, all you're doing is retaking this A site in 2v5s every single round. You're not getting that chance, you know, to get your head in the game, right? You're not actually having that ability to build up more confidence, because every round it's just you and your mate Nico getting shot in the back, essentially.
This is a great comeback from Big. 10-5 at the half. OpTic were leading after a dominant T-side. Big have one-upped them, or at least are doing right now. 12-11. This is it for OpTic. Another buy round coming through. It's been all too long. MSL's on that AWP. It's going to be taking it down lower this time. Nice nade. Chipping at 3 of these big players. Quez up on B short. OpTic trying to take control. They've got that smoke towards a tunnel, and they're going to reaggress to play around it. Always scary when that smoke lands a little bit deep, or shallow rather, as a player could have snuck around the edge of it. So 2 players up in short for OpTic, making sure that's clear. Oh, Tessez, jump spot, he gets tagged. Spots 2 players as well, and look at the rotate, look at the move from OpTic. They send players back up towards A, but that doesn't account for, they don't account for the lurk. Tizian was always out monster the whole time, catching Nico. Config has reaggressed, but Tizian is ready for it. Another frag, and to think the bomb is still on A right now, he is drawing so many rotations, so much attention here from OpTic, that this bomb can just walk into the almost empty A site with just Tessez standing there.
Yeah, hats off to Tizzy in this round, right? I mean, it was already looking good for Big. He has just made it so that losing this round now becomes almost a challenge for Big at this point in time. Feels like a 5v3 with so many bodies still dedicated down towards this B site. Admittedly, MSL is beginning a rotation up through connector, but this almost becomes harder to lose than it does to win. Tess says he's got to step up. Only 1 kill. This is where that flank from MSL needs to come into his own. It's that wrap from Tizzy, and oh, MSL, he's got his head on a swivel. This man's part owl. And now he's looking around in bottom mid, trying to fight even more. There's 10 seconds as that bomb tries to get into the site. Quez getting rid of next, and it's Smooya left alone. He's got to deal with Quez first, and he can't. Round goes the way of OpTic. I said it was a challenge for Big to lose. Well, it's not challenging with shots like that being landed by OpTic. Quez and MSL doing a stellar job there. That flick from MSL, I said he was a bit slow on the AWP for the first 2 days. Well, not so much anymore.
I'm shocked. I don't know how Big lose that round. I mean, that's ridiculous from MSL. A bit of a whiff from Tizian on that long flank, but he did his due diligence down on B, getting those 2 entries. Big, they are going to feel rough after that previous round. They had a huge advantage and all the control. Only 1 man on the site to deal with, and OpTic have equaled it up 12-12, making Big work for this, who now call in a tactical pause. A lifeline for OpTic. AWP still standing strong here for both sides.
Once again, this mid control and connector control nabbed by Big in the opening 30 seconds of the round, so they've got that to work with. Gonna try the long boost, no one there for them to see.
Yeah, can't jump on them anymore, Tabson. They patched that. Nice try. SL is holding from long toilets with that AWP, and Big will have to cross past him eventually. Tessez set up with his in-game leader. I do like how MSL seems to accompany Tessez constantly. You You know, both of them trying to play off each other, and that's a great check from Tabson, showing the bomb most importantly. I wonder how that will adjust these rotations. Config is coming up towards A, but right now, OpTic Big were walking back down B towards that connector. Tabson was just late to join them. I wonder if they commit here. Tabson's got another A pick. It may as well go back up towards the top side, but they're running into the stack down on B. OpTic have yet to rotate. Nico getting one. Quez dropped in the meantime, and now Big realize, okay, there's another player on this site. Let's just commit towards A. Zantares gets the B pick, and everywhere Big go, OpTic are waiting, but it might not matter. The trade is in with enough time, just enough time, and Big take 13 rounds. It feels like, you know, Big mess with the rotations too well. Like they end up rotating the players into the sites that they're walking into. But hey, when you hit A and B at the same time, you know, you're always going to find someone. And that's the money broken for OpTic.
And this is where, you know, if you're MSL, once again, having someone coming on such short notice, it can become very, very hard to adjust much of your setup, right? If you're Quez, the odds are you've been kind of told your positions and what you're doing down on B, but maybe you're not fully aware as to what the rest of this CT side is looking like. So you're kind of stuck with him at this B site, and I'd love to see Quez thrown into the action a bit more, because he has been reasonably dependable on this CT side when it's been asked of him. Apart from that one there onto Tabson, but
can't blame
it's always, you know, it's like when someone asks you to do something on command, it's always harder.
Harry, cast this round. See?
I've just crumbled under the pressure, haven't I?
Case
Yeah,
in
you
point
put
right
too
there.
much on me, man. I wasn't ready for it. Neither was Tess says. He's got a headache after that one. He's gone.
Can't have a headache if you don't have a head, and well, now Big are the one ahead, 14-12. OpTic still have the money to buy back and keep this game going before Big guarantee that overtime, but this was OpTic's pick. They had a 10-5 T side, and now they have their backs up against the wall. Oh, how the tables have turned, Harry. And Big still making them sweat with these tactical pauses.
Yeah, you're just letting them stew in it, right? You're just... And as well as that, you're Big. You're looking at this. Okay, you've had a phenomenal comeback from a 10-5 half to 14-12, but you can't forget that your shortcomings in that first half haven't left you with a lot of room. And OpTic, if they're able to get even close to that sort of momentum they picked up in the first half, then this isn't a done deal just yet. This is a bye round for OpTic. But it's their last one if they lose it. They'll be force buying to the end of the game.
Basically for the map.
Yeah, Big know how important this round is here and now. This decides whether or not you have an easy fight from that map point position, or if it will be more of a grind.
We don't ever see CTs trying to spam that wall that Tizian was spamming. I'd imagine you can do it back. I'd love to see you know, someone work out the timings there. Maybe get an AWP in position, catch a player moving off the barrel. Something, you know, some theory crafting for anyone interested, if you can get there in time. Connector has been given away to Big most of this half, with the exception of that one round where MSL had the AWP there and it didn't quite work out. But this time with the AWP, it will. He finds a pick onto Long, boosted up by his teammate. That's a helpful start here for OpTic. Man advantage and 3 on this A site as the T start to close the distance. Smooya is ready, not blinded by the flashbang, taking down MSL. And Zantares, he's waiting for no one. He's already up on truck. They don't realize he's wrapped the backside. Tessus is here though. Are Big aware of the long position? They have no one here to stop him.
They saw MSL boosted, so they might believe that Config was the second man inside of the site. Now, bodies are still falling for OpTic. Tess says, your time to shine is now. Bomb, drop, Tabson found, but he's not able to dethrone Zantares. Quez, 1v3, the lone B-bomb site boy, asked to step up, and he's on 14 points of health, so he's got to leave. He's got to bow out of this round. He ducks and weaves in through CT. That M4 is going to be the bulk of what OpTic have to work with in that next round.
That's not good news by any means for the Danes, considering Mirage is coming up next as well. At least a map they can play, but one that Big have picked into.
With the $3,400 loss, at least Quez is able to drop an M4 over as well if he survives. So you can have 2 rifles. But it's the big question mark of if Quez survives.
Yeah. Seems like he's got it.
I don't know, man. Zantares, he smells the blood. He can smell it in the water. But, yeah, no, this time the seal has gotten away. I went for like a shark theme.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't
blood
know.
in the water. That's not any other animal.
Yeah.
It's certainly not a fish. I mean, sharks are fishes, but let's not get into that.
Yeah. You're making it sound like a common debate.
Don't get me started on the sharks, Harry.
Sharks versus fishes.
Or the plural of fishes, fish. You know, many fish.
And you just
don't
owned up to it being the other one, mate. You just discredited your own argument. OpTic, tactical pause. That's a worried-looking man on the right-hand side of your screen. Talking this one through with the rest of the squad. Their time to make this comeback happen is now, or not at all.
And with the way it's looking, that second one looks more and more likely by the second. Big have not let their foot off the pedal once hitting their T side. Some really nice execute, some great calls from Tapson. The adjustments on, you know, rotating between the sites have been great. Two M4s, 2 FAMASs, and a UMP. It could be worse, really, for OpTic. Be thankful they at least have rifles. That's that max loss bonus treating them well. Tess is up on long now. Expecting a flash here. 2 CTs on the other side. And Smooya dinked, but he gets away with a kill. Config wide, and he can double it. He's found 2. Tabs him with a trade, but he's down to 1 HP, and MSL's push mid. Luckily, Zantares won't let them steal away the advantage. It's still equal. This is a great situation for OpTic, given the context. Both these M4s are still up, but Big have all the time in the world to really make OpTic sweat.
Yeah, they can almost be like these evil overlords, this 2v2. And as you say, they are just making OpTic sweat. Nico spots them over at long, and that first kill onto Zantares with it, the bomb dropped, because he even found the double. So OpTic, a hero is needed, and a hero answers the call. Nico, heroic effort from him.
He has just been the the knight in shining armor here for OpTic. Him and Config have been piecing together round after round. A few that they have to their name, 21 and 22 kills respectively. I mean, Big, their top performance are 23 and 21. So it shows the levels there for some of these players in OpTic. 15-13, still a chance for the Danes. 2 more rounds separates them from overtime. Even then, the battle just starts. That's a great start, though. Quez getting a kill down on B. Tizian has been a nuisance, and he just got shot through the smoke. So,
yeah,
I think how you like to start the round.
I think that's a bit overdue for Tizian. He's been going for that smoke spam over at B a little too predictably, and it was about time that it finally goes the way of OpTic, right? So Quez getting that kill, punishing Tizian for his crimes, but it's the A play for Big. All 4 players here, and they're just going in dry. They're not signaling anything with utilities, and Tares gets that trade. It's Tess has his close position. Oh, no. Smooya, very lucky, and Zantares, no luck for this one. It's just skill, pivoting around, shutting this round out, and it's OpTic, 2 versus 3. Suddenly, this has been stripped away from them. It was feeling comfortable, and now it's anything but. Rotating in, Nico, Quez once more asked to try and step up in the retake, but this time it's the map lifeline on the line. Smooya holding from the toilets. He's got support. Everyone here for Big, and no one is budging an inch. That shot from Smooya misses, but it doesn't the second time around. Quez, there is no way he can win this out with that many players in toilets. It's over, and that is going to be the game going, or the map rather, going the way of Big.
Smooya needs to give Zantares a big kiss on the forehead there, saving his life with 3 kills, and then the flash